I'm going to take the red color and start drawing. Quick drawing. If you divide your canvas, doesn't matter any size of the canvas you have, half of a canvas it's the flower vase and the rest on top it's our flower. So it depends. If you like to add more space for the flower, you can add more space on top, less for the flower vase, or against make it longer and then less flower. I prefer to go a little bit more for the flowers. So I divide with the line my center of the page of the canvas, and then try to draw two parallel lines like this, like triangle shape, but they're not reaching each other. And then from this side, try to make a bigger triangle, but again, if you continue, they reach here and then connect there. So something like that. But it should be a little bit gentle. See here. I'm going to draw just a straight line. A little bit make it curvy here. A little bit curvy here after that. And then try to, you have an idea about the line that you draw. So make it a little gentle. See curve. And don't be worried about the line that it's left on the background. We will cover by the colors. Use your brush stroke like this. Let me bring it here like 1, 2, like X shape. It's much more better to do like that beside each other then move it like this, because you can cover your surface easily. All the small part of the white of canvas is covered by this technique. And even, let me bring it close to camera, you can make this lovely texture on top, which is so nice to keep it like that, not make it so flat. And the reason I'm going to take heavy paint like this, because when you have something like the drawing which is left from the mistake or something like this that you want to change, heavy paint can cover it easily. You can see? Very gently can cover it. And it's not visible under the background color. I would like to make the shadow which is darker, so I need the dark brown mixed with it. But the blue should be more than brown. You see, it's really darker than this blue and already warmer. So this is good for the shadow part. Clean the palette knife or brush if you use. Again, back to the blue. Take your blue, bring it here. Very, very tiny bit white we need. Or even this color if it's left. Start with the darker tone. And start with the light side of your vase of flower. You can just cover it like that. The reason I go with the reddish color, because I'm not using pencil line, I go with the paint for drawing. Even if the red color be visible, like this. If you leave the darkness beside this light color and the red in between be visible, it's one technique. It's very beautiful. So you don't need to be worried about the reddish color under your painting. But if you cover it, would be okay too. Just go with one brush stroke. You see, I put my brush, lay down and hold the surface and try to bring it down. And try to be gently to shape this side of the vase very nice and beautiful. Even on top, I need to make it gentle C curve like this. And then continue more. Straight, bring it down. So from this shadow part, I'm not going directly to the lighter tone because the line create in between. I want to go with the nice transition. So I'm not cleaning my brush. Move on with the pure blue that I have. So pure blue. The shadow part is still wet. Try to touch the edge with the pure blue so it helps darker blue move into the light, the pure blue, and pure blue move into the darker blue. So they mix gently together and the line in between disappear. So continue, repeat your line from top to the bottom and then move on with the lighter blue for the left side. Start C curve. Be slowly here around the edge. And for all this change and value, we are not clean our brush. With the same brush, with the paint that is inside. And I'm going to use flat brush with the size of petal that I want. So start with this one here. It's not much dark. I'm going to start with this pinky color that I make. Take some. I try to put it here, bring it to the center. Put there, bring it to the center. And in between, it's okay to be the background color. And even we add the leaves as well. like this. Easily try to make, and don't pay attention to the center, which is black. That's the last thing we add. Just keep empty space in between and make the petals start from a little bit further, move inside. This is one layer. For some part, we move on with the darker tone. Start here to add dark color. Especially the end is need a little darker tone. I try to use hold the brush or some part as a line. You can take your paint, just add heavy paint on one side. Or even a little bit dark color here as a curve. Then clean your brush with napkin, not with the water, please. And take the lighter tone, which is this color that we make with the yellow and the red, like a peachy color. For some part, we need this lighter tone, but it's not start from the end of petal. It's a little bit smaller and come inside like this on top. And when you want to use another paint on top of the wet surface, you need to take heavy paint like this. This is heavy paint. And you need to add very gently brush stroke and less pressure. So, and it helps when you touch it very gently. It helps not to lift up the first paint that you already add. And if you see, I'm start from this part, move to the center, and already make the heavy brush stroke. It's not cover everywhere, just here it's fine to add a little bit here. Or even you can use the side of the brush to make a curve like this stroke. I try to show you in an angle. And then one like this. If it get dry, we need to back and again work on some part, add the blacky color in the center, add a little bit darker around, but because I start with the around the flower and then move to the center, so the edges is darker. I'm going to start with the shadow color that I make with the same technique. Try to make these petals come inside like that. And you can keep in between a little bit empty. We will back by green color. And you don't have to bring it to the center, all of them. A little bit, it's okay. Just try to separate some petals from each other. And even you can come a little bit further to reach the vase. And it doesn't need all the petals, the end of petals be square shape. It can be a little bit curvy. So you can play with the brush to make it curvy like that as well. Then this is a darker tone. Then we move on with this pinky tone and not cover from the end to the center. A little bit of space. Then from here start to add this lighter tone and add the brush stroke as the petals shape. So start like this. Then move on like that. Even you can use the side of brush to make it on top be a little curvy. Cover it like this. It can be small or short, it's okay. And then move on with again darker tone. From inside, move like that. I just want to use a bunch of petals close to each other and as a layers. This is the third layer on top of each other like that. And the center, close to the center, is darker, so I need to have this dark color more. I make it less. So again, bring the red with a little tiny bit white. Remix them together so you have already this color. And then back to the darker color. And bring here to the center. And each layer you make, you can have heavy paint. So when you use heavy paint, you need to use less pressure in your hand and then leave this texture be on top. You look at that? I hope it's visible. And then leave it to be like this. Just clean your brush so far. The tip of brush that I told you can make the line with this color, which is peachy color, take some. You can draw the line on top of some of them. Just the line. Just one point I don't want to forget, because around the center is not just black. Around the black is the line, like a ring with yellow color. So you can have the yellow right away, because we need to let it dry and then add the black on top. So when you add this pinky tone, just a pure yellow color, you can paint the circle with the yellow. Like this. On top of this one, we bring the black color. So if you want to have the yellow on top as a circle, you can directly draw it right now. And it's better not to be circle, and it's better to be oval. For the other one, I would like to use a little bit easier way. So go with one value. Let me take my brush, reduce the water by napkin. On this one, for example, I start with this one. It's more darker. So I take this brush, the darker color. I try to cover whole this flower, because we have a different technique. So we can use different technique in our painting. For this one, I go with the other one. So I start to cover whole this flower with the darker red color I mix with the white. But when I'm going a little bit out for the background, try to make as a little bit edges like that, and try to imagine these are the petals that I can see. Randomly add here, make it like this, even a little bit like that, and then continue to go whole your petals. This looks like a flower because of the edges that we make as the petals, but it's just one color. So clean your brush. Now move on with this pinky tone. Add some stroke inside randomly, because the red color around it's wet, so they can mix as well, and you don't have to cover all around. Just the top part with a little pinky color, which is lighter, and here just with a curve, and that's enough. Make it as a curve here. Clean the brush. Move on with this lighter tone. Tiny bit light tone here, stroke, tiny bit here. this blue that we use already, tiny bit, mix with the red, and it helps our red get darker value. So I recommend use blue inside the red, but not a much dark blue, a little bit. You already see this nice color we make with the blue. It's good for the shadow part. Clean your brush or palette knife that you use. Back to the brush. So I start with this flower. So I take this shadow part first, come close to the pinky tone. You see how much difference they have. Even you can use the tip of brush to make the line to separate these petals from each other. And then randomly add the stroke like that. We need to have empty space in between and we need to see the background. So the shape of petals sometimes is a square shape, sometimes it's like an oval, like a gentle C curve, like that. Right, then apply with lighter tone. 1 or 2 strokes would be helpful, like that. Clean your brush with napkin. Pure yellow, add to the center and make the oval shape, like this. Then we bring the black inside. So this is one flower in red. The other is this two, same technique. Start with the darker tone. Yellow this time, bring it here. Little red, because red is so powerful and strong, can change the value so fast. So little red would be enough. You see, that's the nice color for orange. So we can use this one, pure red. And for the lighter tone, I recommend, because yellow it's transparent, it's not opaque paint. Opaque paint can cover very fast. Transparent is not easy to cover the surface. When you add yellow on top of this red, you see, when I add the yellow on top of the red is visible still. So if you mix with a tiny bit white, you already reach the lighter tone and help your yellowy color be more opaque. So this is good for the light and this is good for the shadow. Take your brush. First of all, I clean it by napkin and start with the orange color, the shadow part. The bottom part, it's more dark. So I start to cover the bottom part of the flower with this orangey tone and try to make it easy brush stroke, but a little bit edge around it's okay to have. Even we need a little pure red as well for some part. So I bring a little out, make it interesting on this side, and even bring some here inside. 1 or 2 stroke come from the red inside the flower and even around this like that. And then move on with the pure yellow, cover the rest. So I clean my brush. I start this dark color. Try randomly add here with the squareness brush stroke. Same as background. In some cases, it's a little warmer, so move to the brown and make some browny color here more with your brush stroke. Shouldn't be dark, but just some square stroke, it's okay. And then clean it by napkin. Move on with the pure white color, bring on top. Even with the pure white color, you can mix with the other color that you have here, and that's okay. Keep some space white in between. Not the white, because it's white. I mean keep the background color to add the green leaves on around it. So we can make some details like line here with the white color. Make some line here, make some line there, and clean it by napkin. Mix with black. I have black here. Help my green move toward dark color. A little bit darker. Actually, hooker green is already dark. But when you mix with the black, it helps to move it toward more darkness. Even sap green is the same. And then again, take hooker green. We need the lighter tone as well. So we already have the yellow. We can make yellow to help it move to the lighter tone. I'm not adding white color. I told that white can help the color move to the lighter tone. But for this one, if I add white into the green, it get my paint move to the cool color. But yellow helpful to make it more warm. Because of that, I'm going to use yellow. Green move in between my flowers. So very gently, slowly touch each part. And then you can see you would like to go inside the shape of flower or no, then you can go that. So I go a little bit here inside. I'm going to come close to the vase and leave